What is up, and welcome to the All Basketball Podcast. And once again, I'm your host, Maurice Dixon, coming to you on November 3rd to preview basketball at the high school level once again. This time around, I have championship coach Michael Reddick from South Atlanta speaking with me today, talk about the upcoming 21-22 season at South Atlanta. Another season for Coach Reddick. Took off last year. We may get into that later, but Coach Reddick is here, getting ready to talk to me, get ready for the upcoming season. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Get right to it. Looking back to last year, you decided to opt out due to health reasons, but you're back, and it was the COVID season, so to speak. I mean, we were in a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic now, but we were getting the first wave of it, and protocols had to be put in everything. And just how, looking back on it, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, last year was very different. Personally for me, being told by my doctors it's probably best for me to take that year off because of COVID, and they didn't know the answers or the problems that it could cause. So that was very different and very hard for me not to be able to be in there with my guys. This year here, I'm looking forward to coming back, but being there, no fans, and it wasn't the same. It was a feeling that made me miss basketball.
Oh, okay. How different? You said you attended a few games. Anything you can describe? I mean, compare it to as far as the differences of, is it like almost like a glorified practice, or just because nobody's in the gym?
No, the kids competed, the students competed, and I enjoy that. Without any fans there, the chants going on, or the noise, or the oohs and the ahs, you have to look at your team to keep you up. So the teams had to be the biggest cheerleaders, along with the regular cheerleaders, to keep everybody up. It was a very big difference without the fans in there, and the fact that, like I said before, the oohs, the ahs, the stuff that comes along with the basketball, and just having the support and people seeing you there. People play for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of people want to make sure that their family and friends see them play, and that part was missing.
Yeah, it definitely was. Now that we're back to some sort of normalcy this past offseason, the summer, did you get unlike probably last year when the guys were able to get together, prepare for the season, did you get to do some things you usually do during the offseason?
We did and we didn't. The previous season, we didn't have any summer. And for a school as small as South Atlanta, we're in AA. It's very important that we have that month of June where we work together, because normally 75% of our players play football. We share the players. So we don't get them in June, and then we don't get them in the fall time, and we don't get them until it's time for the season to start. It's difficult. So the previous year, we didn't have them with us because of COVID. And then this year, we had them with us in the summer for a little while. We did about half the summer. Now missing them and knowing that I have potentially 8 players who are still playing on the football team, and the football team is playing for the championship on Friday, the Hornets. It's possible that I won't get my players back until December sometime. So right now, we're practicing with about 4 players on the varsity side, and we're trying to see what we can make happen.
Oh, wow. So once you're going to have to really get things kicking into gear once that season ends because when's your season officially start?
Saturday.
Okay.
But the 13th, next Saturday,
okay.
The season officially starts. And what we're looking forward to it. We go with no excuses. I was talking to some of the former players, and they're the ones who reminded me that even back in the beginning that they played football, we just didn't make the playoffs. So as athletic director and as a coach and person up here who invested in the kids, I'm very proud of my football team right now. And basketball just have to wait, and we have to make it work when they come and make it happen before they come.
Oh, okay. What do you want to say about the coach who, I imagine he's still on your staff? I can't call his name right now.
Coach Porter.
Yeah, Coach Porter. He stepped in for you. What do you just want to say about the job he was able to do last season?
Well, Both the coaches who stepped in last year, Coach Porter was the head coach. I thought they did an outstanding job. They had the kids in there. They worked with them. They didn't keep everything the same. I told them when they took over, they have to do what they believe in. Don't try to be me. Don't try to run what we do. Don't try to do it the way you think it should be done. And that's where it starts out, because if you're not the master of your domain or know what you're doing, you're guessing at stuff. It's not going to work out for you. And he did that. There was great improvement. It was a slow start. There's great improvement. It stopped our streak. I think we had maybe 19, 20 years in a row with the winning record, and we did a lot of things, but we lost more than we won. But the growth was there as far as some of the players, as far as most of the players who are returning. And once we get everybody back and we got a couple of weeks under our belt, then we'll be able to judge how we're going to look going forward. I thought the coaches did an excellent job last year of trying to develop the players and working with them.
Okay, great. What are some of the things you may have noticed or seen on film or issues that you would like to see the team correct this season?
For me, every year is different. Every year is different. Every team is different. I don't run the same stuff. We have a couple of staples that everybody knows that we do. We play against, they'll see those things. We have about 3 things that we do. But the remaining part is we adjust it to the talent that we have and to the type of players we have. If I have small players, we're going to do different things. Whether if I got a big team, we might slow it up a little bit more and do things that get them involved or hit the boards a little better. So, they ran things the way they wanted to run it. I was happy that they did that. But this year it's going to go back to more of a traditional South Atlanta style for the most part. But once I see what comes off that football field, we'll make a few more adjustments, and hopefully that'll put us in the thick.
Okay. Talk to me specifically about your roster, returning players, new additions, expectations for those guys.
Okay. Well, South Atlanta's a school, we don't get too many transfers, and so the new additions are very rare. But coming back, we have John Lawton, who's a 6'1", 6'2" guard. He can do it all. He's one of the most skilled guards in the state. He can shoot, he can handle it, he can power you, he can go past you, he can pass it, he can handle it. I mean, he can do it all. He's also the quarterback on the football team, so he has not been getting the reps or the stuff that he has to get, but we're very happy with them coming back. We have another point guard, very quick, Jalen Adside, who can do a lot. We have a few big kids coming back who can bang inside. And when I say big, for big in AA, normally about 6'3", but they have some weight on them who can do that. We have some other guys who can shoot. Yes, I mean, we have a lot of different pieces that when they put together, they're going to be the key pieces. And we have some other kids who not only we have guys on the football field, we also have one of our main players who joined the band, and he hasn't been able to work up the basketball either. So with all that going on, typically back in the old days, coaches say, hey, you playing basketball and you're not doing this, but we don't do that here at South Atlanta. It's AD, we're sharing it. We understand that we have to share with sports, different sports, and I'm proud of that. Hopefully when we all get together with the talent that we have, that we'll make it work for us to the best of our ability.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand that. Are you guys, the shot clock is going to the second phase, second of 3 phases. Is your region, is it going to be incorporated? Y'all going to have the shot clock?
No, we're not. Our region decided not to use it, and they decided to use it for a smart reason, that it's not going to be used in the state tournament. So why get used to doing something that you can't use? Excuse me. That's something that we can get used to next year in the summertime, and then we'll be ready for it in the season and everything else. But if it's going to be this year, why use it? Because you're in the state tournament, you get in a situation and you don't have to have that shot clock. It could mess you up if you have a team that has to play a certain time. If you just have more talent than everybody else, that's different. But sometimes you might need to air that ball out. And with the shot clock, the way South Atlanta plays, it would have no effect on us at all. I could never imagine holding the ball for 35 seconds before we took a shot. And then even if you get a rebound, to hold it for another 35 seconds because it doesn't reset, maybe 20 seconds or so like that. But yeah, it's a little different. I would like to see the shot clock. I wish the time was a little shorter, and I thought a reset would be shorter because it rewards teams who play great defense, and they can be able to get the ball. The style that we play, it's not going to have too much effect on us this year, but our region voted not to use.
Oh, okay. So were you for or against it, just period in Georgia, or?
I mean, we played with the shot clock several times. We travel. Part of my program, we go out of state every year, normally twice a year, and travel. You know, whether we're supposed to be a strong team and got big names or a team that don't have any names at all. We travel this year. Here we're going to Tennessee. We're going to Chattanooga, and we'll go elsewhere. But we played in places where they use the shot clock, and I think we've only had one shot clock violation, and I think that was when we were playing Crestwood, kid who plays for Memphis, the point guard. He was playing on that team, John Morant. So that's the only game I remember us ever having a shot clock violation, and that's because I didn't realize after the timeout that the shot clock was at a certain number, and we came out running a play that shot was like a second late.
Oh, okay. Tell me about schedule, showcases you guys maybe in non-region schedule.
So right now we have games up at Banneker. They're going to release the schedule. I'm not sure we're playing. We don't have, like I said, we don't have too many players, so we'll probably dress maybe 6 or 7 players, varsity and JV combined, and hopefully we can compete to the best of our ability. And we're playing, so to play hard to the paint Under Armour with it's Under Armour tournament that's normally at Westlake. It's been at Mays, and last time it was at the Georgia Conference Center over by the airport. That schedule hasn't come out to us yet. Again, we'll be going to Tennessee, we'll be going to Chattanooga, and then we'll be going to Dobbins-Bennett High School. They have a big tournament over there. We're in the ML King tournament, but that schedule hasn't been set either. So outside of that, you know, our region is super strong. With Pace Academy being the #1 ranked team in all of AA, private school, and I know they just got a couple of guys transferred in who are very good. I think they're always a strong team, one of the best teams around. They're #2 in the state, and I know they had with the schedule with the region plus the other teams that were already there, that's pretty strong. Washington is looking really good. We have a couple other teams that's looking really good. I don't want to start calling out names because I'll leave somebody out, but a lot of them plus the outer region. So we always have a pretty tough schedule. We're looking forward to the challenge.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen.
I'm not sure if you're there, but you're freezing on me.
Oh, you froze too. That's
Okay.
weird. We were back. Yeah, I didn't get to see Pace. I know they went all the way. I see Coach Sharman White's doing quite a job over there, just like he did at Miller Grove. So I'm pretty sure they'll be reloaded and ready to go.
Yeah, they're preseason #1 for AA. So, and the last year they played for the national championship. They're going to be extremely strong. I know they have one kid who's already has offer from Georgia and a few other schools. So he's got a strong squad.
Okay. Well, some of the tournaments you're going to play in or showcases, they'll have shot clock. You have shot clock games there, right? But just like
Well, I'm not sure. I played in Tennessee maybe 3 years ago, and they did not.
No.
But you know, every place you go, it changes. Like I said, when we played in North Carolina, South Carolina had it. I think we had a shot clock up in New Jersey, West Virginia. They had it. So it just depends on where you are and what that association normally allows. I think most people are going to it. So if they have it, we won't be surprised. But like again, we won't ever use the shot clock. If we take that long to find a good shot, something's wrong.
Definitely hear you on that. Yeah, no stall ball in South Atlanta. That's always good.
No.
As far as some of your guys who have moved on, Derek Favors in the NBA. Any other guys out there you used to coach who were still having success on the court you know about?
Well, Derek Favors is the only guy who's playing in the pros as we speak. We have a few other guys in college. I have one guy right now who's at Austin Southern, and they have last year he was I think their second leading scorer, and looking for a good year from him, Jaquavian Florence. I have another kid of mine, Demetrius, we call him he's playing over at Clark, Atlanta this year, and I'm getting my schedule together because that's always my dream. I have kids who think I want to go to the college of basketball. I want to go to college and get an education. But my dream is when those kids play, I can just step into the game, sit down and watch them play and see how much they've grown. And that's always my dream, and that's always what I work for. We had a stretch for like 9 years where every single one of my kids went to college, whether it's for basketball or just to go, went to college. And that's, for me, that's more success than winning the championships and all this other kind of stuff. See where they come from, or to see how far they've come, and that they've continued their education, making great decisions. That's my dream come true.
Yeah, definitely not wrong with that. As far as college and even trickle down into high school a little bit, then you have the I can't call the name of it, the elite something just opened up over near Atlantic Station. That program, but the national, what I'm getting to is the national, name, image, and likeness. What are your thoughts on that being approved?
Oh, well, I think it's a wonderful thing for the kids. For me, I'm probably a little more controversial when it comes to it, because I like when people have a little bit of loyalty to be somewhere. And I see with the universities and college now, they have the transfer portal, and everybody's, if they get mad at the coach or they don't like, they just transfer, no sitting out, all that kind of stuff. That for me is not that's not a strong thing for me. I prefer when people are at a certain place for a certain amount of time. If you don't want to play, you want to transfer, understood. But just to go and you're playing at this school this year, you didn't like the coach did this or so-and-so did that. I don't like that. The kids being able to make money off their likeness, I think that's a good thing. But I would hate to be a college coach and have to go through where I have a kid making more money than I'm making, and you telling them to do certain things, and he has more than you, and the image is more than you, and they're spending so much time with that. And I see it trickling into high school now. I had a kid ask me the other day, can he bring his cameraman to come to practice? And you go, what? Hey, I'm not there yet. And I know I'm old school, and yeah, I know I don't have too much longer to be lucky enough to coach in this profession, but I'm not there yet with the image being more important than the substance.
Yeah, that's well said. You hit on a point I know I discussed with some other guys, and we're none of us are coaching or playing, but we're just all discussing basketball. And when you said that with the transfer rule and stuff, I think I was on the side. Like, I bring up Jalen Johnson, I think who's still currently with the Hawks. He was at Duke, and he just kind of quit. Like, and I felt like they were like, well, he's going to transfer, but I felt like unless he thought he was really going to get injured, even if you're going to transfer, I feel like you shouldn't quit on your team. I don't think that sends the right message. You can finish out those few games, humble yourself to the bench, however you want to look at it, and then go on. But I don't think guys just, I'm just going to quit the team because I know I'm going to the league or I'm going to transfer. I don't think that says the right thing about your character. That's just where I am on that issue.
Yeah, and I understand, and I've heard both sides of it before. The people say, look, you got millions of dollars at stake, and you know you're going to get picked, don't take that chance. And I understand where people can be coming from, but I don't know, you can get hurt anytime. You can get hurt in training. You can get hurt anywhere. You're going to play. Basketball players play. There's nothing different, and I expect that if someone's going to be in a situation like that, if you make a commitment, try and stick to your commitment. But if that's your choice, I understand we're in personal choice stuff here. I can't say anything against it, but I would hate to have that situation with my team. I see it in football all the time. They don't play in the bowl games because they say it might mess up their draft stock and stuff like that. And everybody's looking out for themselves. And I think I'm built a little different. I look out for others as much as I'm looking out for myself most of the time.
Yeah, that's a good, definitely a good attitude and perspective to have on it. Want to ask you about the NBA real quickly. You're older than I am. You've seen more players than I've seen. The 75 list came out, top 75 players. There were some snubs out there. People weren't too happy. You had guys you probably seen more than me. I heard like say Alex English or Bernard King, and then you got everybody today saying Dwight Howard got snubbed or Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving. They're always going to be snubs, but what do you think about when people start taking?
You froze up on me for a little.
Oh, yeah, I thought that would happen. What was the last thing you heard?
I'm sorry, you froze up for me. I didn't hear the question.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, you're frozen.
I'm still froze. Can you hear me clearly now?
I hear you now. I see your podcast picture, the photo up here.
Yeah.
Nice shot, man.
Oh, thank you. I just dropped the video. Can you can hear me clearly now?
I can hear you. I just don't see the video.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it back up. But I was saying the 75 players list for the NBA, top 75 years in the NBA came out, and you had snubs. You've seen a lot of guys. Some people were still upset that people like say Bernard King or Alex English didn't make it. Then you have more contemporary guys, Dwight Howard, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving didn't make it, and you're always going to have some people left off. But people are saying these people should be added and these people should be taken off. What are your thoughts on it? Because you've seen some of these players who people haven't seen today, and you can't. I feel like you can't discredit the players you really haven't seen because it's the same thing's going to happen to you at some point with your players. And but just where are you? Do you feel right about? How do you feel about the so-called snubs and additions?
I saw most of the list. I didn't see all of them. But, when you think about the good old days, a little song that I think Gladys Knight and Barbara Streisand sang, they say, the days seem to be a little better in your memory than it was. NBA, when I look at an NBA player, if I'm ranking them, I normally take a 7-year window. Okay, for 7 years, they have to perform at their heights. Because if you look at Dwight Howard right now, of course, he's not one of the top players. But did he average 20 and 12 for that 7-year time from age 22 to 29 or whatever it was it is? So you can have that. Alex English and Bernard King were some beasts.
That's right.
They were some beasts. Oh my goodness. Kiki Vandeweghe. But Denver didn't play any defense. So I think they probably had the highest scoring team probably in NBA history if the rules, since before the rules came in and stuff. So I couldn't say, I'm sure those people who looked at that, I cannot see a league where Bernard King in his prime, I think Bernard King only had maybe 4 years of prime, maybe 5 years of prime. So I don't know if he fits that 7-year window that I would be looking in if I was looking at something like that. Alex English, Steve Vandeweghe was on that team. Bernard King, Dwight Howard for those 7 years in Orlando was 20 and 12. If a big man does 20 and 12 for 7 years in a row, he's Hall of Fame. So I look at that. I couldn't say who should or who shouldn't be on. Kyrie Irving is a kid who has a lot of talent, but I don't think he's done it long enough to actually be on there. I think he had maybe 2, 3 good years in Cleveland, and he hasn't had a complete full year yet. Maybe last year he was doing spectacular things, but I need to see 7 years of your best when you're playing at least 70 games and you're doing what you have to do.
Okay, so based on your theory, I'll bring up this because I've yet to debate it with other people, but they say Bill Walton did win the championship, MVP, and I think 6th man, and he got his 2nd title with the Celtics as a 6th man. But he had injury issues, but he won a title. Does that carry more weight because he didn't pan out to say like a Derrick Rose or a Grant Hill or a Penny Hardaway?
No, it doesn't carry any more weight. I mean, he didn't win it by himself. That's with anybody. You talk about talent. Nobody could ever go past Will Chamberlain. They look at Will Chamberlain as though he was the myth. Talking about a guy who's averaging 50 points a game, not trying to get 50, but he didn't win as many championships as anybody else. But you cannot deny his talent. I don't, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, big man, who's one of my all-time favorites. You can't. I'm sure he has a bunch of championships. He's won more than he's probably won more than anybody I know. When you look at high school, pro, the only college he lost, the game he lost in college was when he got stuck in the eye and was seeing and had blurred vision. But you got people who will win a championship here and there. You can't just put them over other people because they had 1 or 2 good years. For me, if we're talking about the talent itself, no. Bill Walton, heck of a ball player for 3 or 4 years, heck of a ball player in college, but his NBA career, I think, was only 5 years. I go 7 years. That's just my personal opinion. Now, some people might say, well, let's take his top 5 years. Okay, then he might be. Dominique Wilkins got snubbed the first time. Don't know why, but Dominique Wilkins should have been on that first 50. And then for me, they got the top 50 and they're moving on 25 years later. They shouldn't go back and add or take people off that previous list. It should be next 25.
And that's what they did. That's what a lot of people said it was hard. They just like, we want to keep the 50 because of the way it was set up, and then add 25. They actually added 26 because of it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure really who the 26th person was, but I don't know if it was where the tie was, but some people had issues with Anthony Davis, kind of, and they had issues with they were surprised by Dame Lillard. But I think Dame is one of the bigger overachievers, so I can understand his claim.
Mm-hmm.
And they added Rodman, like you said, Dominique, and maybe a few other guys. All your MVPs like Tim Duncan, Garnett, Dirk, Wade got in. So all your MVPs got in after the 25. So if you got Harden, you got who I'm not that big on. I feel like, but I would probably argue against him. Great score. The foul hunting and dude is nice with it, but when he starts trying to get fouls, I don't like that. I don't feel like he adjusts in the big games. He doesn't shoot mid-range jumpers. And he takes all these tough threes, and then he's trying to get fouled all the time. And when you're better than that. Just
I can't blame him for it. I can't hold that against him. Every I'm not sure you froze up on me again, so I'm not sure if you're hearing me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, for me, the reason I didn't want to change from that 50 is because every era is a little bit different. Things change. And rules change. So you can't compare the past to the present because the rules are so much different.
Mm-hmm.
The rules are so much different. For example, when they first started playing, the lane used to be shaped like a old door latch, so the lane wasn't as wide. So Wilt Chamberlain was there, just catch the ball and just dunk on everybody, so they widened up the lane. They had situations where free throw line, you could jump from the free throw line and lay the ball up. Wilt Chamberlain could do that easy anybody. So they had to start changing rules. If those rules aren't there, the stats are different. We didn't have three-point shooting back in the day when shooting was there. So I think you need to leave each era and just add new players to the era. That's the problem I have. James Harden in this era, that step back, he created a rule. he created something for them to change the rule. They had to change the rules to stop him. So I gotta say, you making them change the rules, Wilt Chamberlain probably did most of them. I think they used to put the ball over the top of the backboard for him or Kareem one, and he just catch it over everybody and dunk it. So now they say he can't shoot the ball over the backboard or touch. Those are the rules. If James Harden made you change the rules, I got to give him credit.
Okay, now I'm definitely not taking anything. Dude is mean with it when he on. He gets you rocking. He got some moves, but when he starts grabbing you on the way to the hole, I just don't like it. The foul baiting, and now they're cracking down on it. And even with like Trae Young here in Atlanta, because he'll stop off that screen, they're saying it's unnatural. Or Steph Curry was doing like little things where he would jump into you. So they're trying to cut down to help the defense, and I do appreciate that because the game is too catered too much to the offensive side of the court.
Now, jumping into you, I'm 100% with that. But if Trae Young has someone on his back and he stops, I don't see anything. Like, hey, you teach people to go straight up and down on their jump shot. If he stops and you hit him in the back, you too close. Don't get behind him. I don't know. The foul hunting, like you said, and I can understand that. But if someone's running behind you like Trae Young and they stop, I don't think they should take that. So they want him to keep going and get his shot blocked by a big guy.
I think it was the way he was doing it. The guy on the defense wasn't able to come because they're trying to go over top of the screen. So obviously you're trying to, but he was just stopped. They said it was so unnatural that he was. But I've been seeing when I watch him, I haven't seen him do it that much. But I heard they were looking out for that.
Yeah, they call that's that Trae Young rule. But if Trae Young is making them change a rule, I don't know. Sometimes he makes those shots. So is it unnatural? Or did he just work on his craft and develop something that they haven't been able to stop? They might have to go under the screen, or they might have to switch, or whatever the situation may be. But I don't like that rule if they're going to do that. Well, the one when you're jumping in people or you're kicking your legs out, trying to draw contact, yeah, that's dangerous. I don't like that. But if you stop, just because you stop, they're going to say they ain't going to give it to you. If somebody run you over, yeah. But that's just my little opinion. Yeah. I tend to be very opinionated.
No, that's fine. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, if you stop and somebody runs over you, it is a foul.
If you driving the car and they hit you in the back, hey, it's your fault regardless.
It's nothing, but I'm just glad to see them making something to help, at least help the defense, because all you have now is screen and roll, and you have switches onto mismatches, and if your big guy can't guard, he getting cooked like Rudy Gobert. If Rudy Gobert just had maybe a jump hook or something to punish the other end. I mean, if you want to be able to stay out there, you got to punish the other end. Like even if Shaq was out there today, he would still punish the other end. So you have to keep up.
Yes.
I know trading twos for threes is you can't really trade twos for threes, but if you have a lead and you have a guy who can score effectively in the post, I don't think you can catch him because they're probably not going to hit that many threes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you do the math on it, and I'm not great on the math, but if you shoot 33% from threes and 50% from twos, you're going to average out. But if you're shooting the twos, you're probably going to catch a foul or two inside there where you get to go free throws, so you're probably going to do better. If you find someone shooting over 37% from the threes or 40, like some of the people are doing right now, then that's very, you have to shoot the three. But if you got a big guy who can get you in foul trouble, get you the extra free throw line, get you in the 1-and-1 sooner, and that's what James Harden was doing as a guard, drawing those little cheap fouls that he was getting that helped the teams. He's shooting 10 free throws a game or whatever. It's a little different. But yeah, the twos versus the threes, if you got a dominant post guy who can score inside there and he's going to shoot over 55%, you have to go with it. You have to get it inside. But if you got somebody who's shooting 37, 30, 40% from the three, you have to go with the three-point shooters. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes, I mean, you have to keep up anyway. You have to, I mean, that's why Embiid shoots threes, and I feel like he bails the defense out sometimes. He shoots too many threes sometimes, or he's trying to be too much of a guard. Get down there and show us those Hakeem Olajuwon-like moves.
Yeah. That kid is really talented. If he could ever stay healthy, oh my goodness, he would be an all-time great because he can do it all. He can inside, outside, and if he just goes inside and dominates, other teams are going to have to find a way to adjust because they don't have enough people to guard him. And he can pass the ball. So he's an incredible talent if he can stay healthy. But like they say, one of the best abilities is availability. He's not available enough. He gets hurt too often. And, hopefully, because he's one of my favorite players, he can stay healthy and do some damage this year.
Yeah, for real. Do you think he does too many guard-like things? Do you think that's leading to injuries, or he's just going to be one of those players who just has injury issues?
I think he's just one of those players because he was hurt in college. He came out here, he missed a year or two in the pros and came back. He got hurt. He had a healthy year when he was probably the leading candidate for the MVP, and all of a sudden he got hurt towards the end of the year again last year. So he's just one of those guys who seemed to have the injury. Hopefully one day they find out and he can get him straight and he'll be healthy, but you never know. You never know. Those doctors should be hopefully can figure out something, even if he has to play, take 2 days off every time he plays 3 games or something, but find a way to get him healthy.
Yeah, I hope he does stay healthy. It's always somebody, unfortunately, but I mean, look, it's looking like Zion right now, but obviously we'll see.
I was disappointed. I've been very disappointed not to get a chance to. He has a chance to play, but he's been injured just about every year. It's been something ever since that shoe blew out on him. When it at Duke, when that shoe went, ever since then he's always been injured somehow. That's disappointing because I see him as great potential. But hopefully, you know, those first 3 years is when you're coming into your own, and what you do after your 4th year is normally what you're going to do the rest of the time. And I think this is 4th year coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Is this his 3rd or 4th year?
This is his, I think, yeah, this is his 4th year, I'm pretty sure, because he was he 2019 or 18 draft? Oh, man.
I think this is his 3rd year then. Maybe this is his 3rd year. So when they say what you do in your 4th year is normally what you're going to do for your career. And hopefully he can get healthy. He'll be used to the adjustments of the NBA. He can take care of his body, himself there, and hopefully we'll be able to see something special from him. But if he stays injured, he'll never rise to that next level that I think he can get to.
Yeah, because he I mean, when you're injured, he's already big. You're going to gain weight. Okay, so he was drafted in 2019, so this is his 3rd year.
Yeah, this is his 3rd year. So next year is going to be his key. Next year is going to be his key. So if he can get healthy and find out what's causing these problems, all these injuries, you know, vitamin D, whatever it is, he need to get himself. I think he's a special talent. You know, you don't have too many of those people come out when they do something so special that everybody notices. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, he is. He is. But that's all I really have, Coach. Anything else you want to add before I close out the show?
No, man. Like I say, I appreciate you inviting me. Anytime you can get me here to talk basketball or life or anything, I'm always willing, happy, and willing to be there. We're looking forward to this year. I know it's a lot of great teams out there that we missed, but I think I'm going to, you know, do maybe another 18 months of this thing and call it a day.
Oh, okay.
And becoming a consultant where I'm out here just volunteering to help because I love the game. I love what it can do for the student athletes, and I just like to see it thrive. And this year here, coming back, hopefully we can get all the habits right and do the stuff that we need to be. But it's almost like rebuilding. But I hope they have fun with it.
Yeah, hope you do as well. I wish y'all good health on the court and off the court, and get back to you. Look forward to seeing you get back to your winning ways in South Atlanta.
All right.
All right.
That's what I love to hear. All right.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Take care.
It easy.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, folks, that's all for this edition of the All Basketball Podcast. Once again, I'd like to thank Coach Reddick from South Atlanta coming to talk to me about the 21-22 season. We wish Coach Reddick and the Hornets the best as they begin this season really soon, high school season. Once again, folks, this is the All Basketball Podcast. I'm Maurice Dixon. I urge you to subscribe on wherever you listen to podcasts so you can get this podcast and other podcasts like this. And if you'd like to make a donation to the All Basketball Podcast, you can find the information in the link when you go to the podcast. Once again, I'm Maurice Dixon, and until next time, peace and be blessed in Jesus' name.